welcome back to Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. I'm Fawn.
I'm Marianne.
And this is episode 17. I had to double check. And today is August 23rd. If you're new here, we're so glad that you found us. We are a channel about cross-stitching, needlepoint, crewel, embroidery, carding, basically anything you can do with a needle. We've either tried it or going to try it or absolutely fell in love with it. So we're so glad you found us. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Glad you love it. Glad you like to hang out with us. We have a little bit of everything this week except for finishes. Neither one of us hit that category. But we also do have a giveaway. So if you stick around till the end, then you can enter into that. On that note, Marianne, what are you celebrating this week?
I'm celebrating. We had a nice get-together yesterday with our sidewalk sale down at Craft Gallery. We made some money, but we also just had a good time. And it was nice to be outside and with people that some of us hadn't seen in 4 years. My friend Pam from Just Keep Stitching was there, and we hadn't seen each other in 4 years. So this was nice for us. So that's what I'm celebrating.
Yeah, I was going to actually celebrate too that I got to meet Pam, which in the Flosstube world, you know, she is such an icon. And so to see her in real life, it was like, oh, I feel like I already know you. And then I'm also celebrating the pool because here in Ohio, it's so hot. And since we were outside all day yesterday, I'm celebrating that Sean and I just parked and walked straight into a pool in our street clothes because we were so overheated.
It was hot.
Yeah. But let's jump into your new start, which was super exciting.
Yes. Well, here's the sampler, Susan B. sampler, and this is my new start. And we're
so
doing,
far.
Yeah, I was working on these this morning, trying to get the very end done that I didn't get to. This is the border for part 1. It's divided into 6 parts. And I thought, well, if I can get part 1 done by the middle of September, that would be good. We had a nice turnout for our Susan B. Sampler group on Tuesday of this past week. And everybody that was there, we had 9 of us there, said they would like to get together once a month. So I'm going to try and schedule them around the same time. And that way we can all show what we've done. So I'm moving ahead with that. So that's my new start. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so that is the Susan B. Sampler. I want to say it's by Stone Street
Stitch.
Stone Street Stitch.
Yeah.
I always add an extra word in or subtract an extra word, but one day I'll finally get it. But you can find that on Facebook. Just search for Susan B. Sampler. It's a group. Feel free to join us. Even if you want to just be a voyeur and see what other people are doing, that's great too. That's what I'm going to do. And we would love to see you there.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So then I'll show my whips and then we can go back to you. So I am currently working on the Mill Hill Spring Bouquet Pansies. And so I go back to this piece when I don't have my stand nearby or I just can't be bothered to get all the stuff out and the hoops set up and all the things. I pick up the Mill Hill kit. So if you're like me and you just need a little break sometimes, these kits are great for that, at least until you get to the beads and then it's a little more involved. But this is where I'm at.
Nice.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So
there you
I'm
go.
really getting there. So I have a little bit more with the purple and then I have the green and then I think I'm on to the beading. So this should be done pretty soon.
That's on the perforated paper, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I've got some kits that Joe keeps saying, what about those you bought that are the Mill Hill? They're for Halloween and Christmas. So I need to get those out too. Yes.
Yeah, they make you feel good because you get so much done so fast and you're like, ooh, okay. And then you go back to your other project and you're like ready to stitch again because you're like, oh, I can get some stitches done. And then I am still working on the Halloween Parade by Cloudsfactory. This is a stitch along. I think it comes out a new piece every 2 weeks or so for either 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not exactly sure. So I have almost the entire border done and part 1. Let's see if I can lift this at the same time.
Cool.
There's the very top. I have, this is going to be a banner. So at the bottom, it'll have like sort of a tapered top of a triangle shape. And so I'm almost there. So I should be able to finish the border today. Up here, I only have half crosses, so I have to finish it. But the zombie, I completely finished. And I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you can't really see, but I use the sparkly thread. It's the DMC version, not the Atoll, but I think the Light Effects. And it's made out of polyester, so I think it's supposed to be the dupe of Krynic, which I like the Krynic much better than the DMC Light Effects. But when I went to Michael's, they did not have the Atoll, which the pattern called for. So I was like, oh, well, it'll be the same. It's not the same, but you know, it looks fine. It's a Halloween, so it makes the tree look extra spooky. And then the white up in here is also the white Light Effects. So there's a close-up.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can see it a little better that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So I'm excited to see what the next piece will be. And this is 2/2 on 28 count, Haunted by Picture This Plus.
There you go.
What was your work in progress for this week?
The other was my Honeybee Hill, and I got one of the hives done.
I love it.
Yeah, and then I added more greenery and such. I'm going to start on this hive up here and try to get it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see it okay?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's a real light. It's a nice lightweight linen. It's Weeks linen. And at first I wasn't sure. I think it looks okay. I was trying to get a lighter background for one of my Blackbird designs. Sometimes I pick out a darker one and I'm thinking, no, I want to move towards lighter. So I'm also working on that along with the Susan B sampler. And
nice. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, get some other things out once in a while. So that's it for that.
Yeah, we're moving right along today with this episode. So what do you have for haul?
Okay, well, yesterday, some people there decided I needed just to bring home this, but you see this pretty fabric and all, but when you untie the ribbon, inside it's where you can keep your work that you're doing. And like so. See, it's got a foam up here and that keeps the shape, and then you can put your work inside this fabric or on top of it and roll it up, and it keeps it neat for you. So I already had the Susan B is on the Q-snap, and I tried putting that in there and that didn't work. I'm going to have to take it off of the Q-snap. So if I want to stitch on the Honeybee Hill, and Honeybee Hill I had already put on the little hanger, but I can get it off of there and put it in here, and then it'll stay nicely. But I like the fabric too, this real pretty paisley. And so Karen said, here, this is yours. I said, okay. And then
I won't refuse.
I won't refuse. Yes, and then she was looking through some patterns that someone had given, and she said, Marianne, does this look familiar to you? And I said, oh yes, this is the same pattern that I've been working on, my Cruel Bell Pull.
Oh, really?
Yes, that I've been working on since 1983. This is also that same pattern.
Gosh. I don't know if you want to start that over though.
No. She said, I was thinking you might like to have it. And if you ever want to make another one too. I said, yeah, well, let's get the first one done and stuff. But it was just kind of fun to see what it was way back, because that's like I said, I bought that kit in 1980. I started it in 1983. So this is definitely vintage also. So
Yeah,
that's some of,
so I just had
go
the
ahead.
idea that instead of when you do finish that bell pull, instead of putting some sort
Yeah,
of fabric on the back, you could put that on the
sure
back. And so
could.
you can see on both sides like what it looks like
Yeah,
finished and what it looks like
yeah.
originally. And that would be such a cool
Two great
finish.
minds. I was just thinking that I was just thinking as I undid it, I thought, that would be a good backing for it. You're
It
right.
would be so
And you can
cool.
say, see, this is what it was and this is what it is. And then I did get my Patriot Hearts from Ann Rodgers. These are the pictures that come with it. So it's the Amber Waves of Grain, the Purple Mountains Majesty, what is it again? From Sea to Shining Sea. I do know the song, believe it or not. And then God shed her, she says, her grace on thee. So, and then all the threads, and she packages each one. She'll say, like, this is the thread for Amber Waves of Grain, and there's all
Oh,
your
that's
beautiful
pretty.
colors. And the same with the others. Here's the Sea to Shining Sea, and you get all
Hold it
the
up. There you go.
right. You get all the pretty colors. I'll get this down eventually one of these days. Here's the Purple Mountain Majesty in those pretty colors. And then one more, the America Heart. So there you go, with all those pretty colors.
Wow.
And she kits it all, and this is in some silk, I believe. I can't remember all. It's, yeah, the Soie, S-O-I-E Day. Here I go with trying to pronounce that too. My
Yeah,
French is
that's
not
the
as
top
good
of the
anymore.
line silk, isn't it?
Yes, Delge, yes. And I'm not as good with my French anymore, but that was a haul. So I'm happy with those things.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
it.
wait to see those stitched. I know in
Yeah,
our Needle Arts Guild, so here's our plug for Needle Arts Guild of
yeah,
Toledo.
right.
There are so many members that got that kit, and it's just, I can't wait to see everybody's, like, somebody's going to twist it a little bit, and it's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same as designed, and so I can't wait to see
Yeah.
what everybody's looks
Some
like.
some of us bought all four, and some decided they wanted to do just certain ones. And we were all sitting here with bated breath, waiting for our kits to show up, And Joe just hopes that he'll see these finished someday. I
Oh,
told
he
him,
will.
okay.
Calm down,
I
Joe.
know, I know. He's really a nice guy, He always says, "Are you gonna finish that? Are you gonna finish that?" So yeah, I'll finish it. I need to take some time off just to finish things. I may not stitch some weeks and just finish. So there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Well, it was funny with Sean. So yesterday, because we had that yard sale, I got a bunch of stuff for us to do as giveaways for all of you. And
Right.
so when Sean and I were looking through them last night, I'd be like, oh, this is going to go in the giveaway pile. And I just see his hand like constantly sneaking over and pulling things out of the giveaway pile into his own little pile. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
Lord, this man has the biggest like stash now of all
Right.
these patterns and all these things. And then of course, he wakes up this morning. He's like, I want to stitch a Freddy versus Jason, which is a horror movie series.
Uh-huh.
I want to stitch a pattern for that. And I want these vintage Halloween ones. And I want the Just Non like sampler. I was like, oh my
Right.
goodness, I created a monster.
No, I know. You encouraged him to try it, and look what
I know.
happened. We
But
had
you
one
know, it
gentleman.
keeps him on the couch and out of trouble. So
Right.
I guess I can't complain.
Well, we had one gentleman there that's older, more my age, and he likes to cross stitch. And we were down to the, half price. Hi, Fritzy. You came to say good morning to Sean phone, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
He part way. This gentleman said, "How much do you want for the box?" Because we were down to the last. I think it was like 3 o'clock, and we were all getting so tired and hot. So we said $20, and there were some beautiful patterns in there, as well as some classes that people had taken through EGA. So we said $20, and he told his wife, give him the 20, and so he hauled off the rest of the county cross stitch things, which made us happy. That was less for everybody to bring home. Fritz, you do
Yeah,
not.
he got so much, and I was so excited for him to be. I just imagine him that
too.
night going through it and like, oh,
Yeah.
look at this one.
Yeah, I was glad he was happy with it. And then the gentleman that I finally said, okay, $10. And he said, I don't know. And his wife was, oh, well, we have to talk about this. Say hi, Fritz. Say good morning.
Hi, Fritzy.
So he came back because it had a lot of just threads in it and loose fabrics, and stuff. And so he came back and got that box. I was so happy.
Yeah,
we started out $20 and I was willing to go down to 10 and he was willing to come buy it. So that was good. Fritzy, you're getting in front of Mommy. He's pawing me. He's
he's
making
so into
biscuits.
it today.
Yeah, he's making biscuits. All right, down you go. Down you go. Go lie down there go lie down next to Brian. Brian's down here on the floor and Roscoe's over in his chair. So Fritzy's the only one wandering around. I'm assuming Wally's in his pumpkin or what?
Yep, we have a big stuffed pumpkin that Wally crawls into. And so he is, even in the hot of summer, he's still sleeping in his pumpkin.
Good for him.
Yep.
It's his safe place.
Exactly. So for my haul, I got quite a bit. Some stuff came out of a grab bag that I bought yesterday. Some stuff I ordered in maybe March and it finally got here. And so I'll start with the first one. And this is, finally got off the wait list for the Bee Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. So if you haven't gotten yours yet because the Postal Service is taking a long time, close your eyes, fast forward, whatever you need to do so you can still be surprised when your package comes. But if you want to see, I got the Lotus, which is an 18 by 27 piece of linen and 28 count. And that's coming across pretty good. It's a light, like a light purple. It's really
looks like
pretty.
It looks like a lavender. It's very pretty.
So I have no idea what I'm gonna put on it, but I like it, and I'm so excited to be in the Fabric of the Month Club because everybody talks about Bee Stitch Me and their Friday night fight nights, which totally intimidates me, so I can't do it. But to get in the Fabric of the Month, that's pretty cool.
All right, now you've brought up something. You've got to explain what is this Stitch Bee or Stitch Me, and what is the Friday night fights?
Yeah, Bee Stitch Me is a fabric dyeing company. She has started getting into dyeing silk floss as well, but I think she's just starting with that. Okay. And so on her Facebook group, she has Friday night fight night, where at a certain time she posts a bunch of fabric that she has, and they're already pre-priced, but you have to be the first one to comment. And so I think there's like hundreds of pieces of fabric that get posted, but everybody swarms it. And you have to write me first. And if you're not first, they say that you can write it second or third, because sometimes people delete their comments when they realize they win too much. And so then you might end up being the first person. But I don't know. I know I want to take my time and like make sure that's the color I want or the right size or count. And it stresses me out to rush to make a decision. And if I put a comment, I don't want to delete it because that just seems rude to say I want it and back out. So I mean, if you do that, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel good. But me personally, I don't want to be stressed by it. So
it's easier just to do their Fabric of the Month, right?
Exactly. And I like to be surprised too. So that works out for me.
Oh, that's neat. That's kind of a neat idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know for her Fabric of the Month, she has all different counts, all different types. So she's got Lugana, Jobelan linen, and she also does opal. And she ranges, at least on the card that's on here, 14 to 32 count.
Oh, good.
And the sizes on here, I'm not sure if these sizes are available for the Fabric of the Month, but she ranges from 18 by 21 to a full yard, at least.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll tag her website down below if you're interested in looking. I wasn't on the wait list very long, but I don't know if I just lucked out or what happened, but I was excited. I was expecting to be on it for a long time.
Yeah.
And let me take a sip of drink. Oh, got a lot of talking to do.
That's okay. Fritzy's messing with the little thing I have holding the Honeybee Hill. He thinks he's supposed to, it's a little, well, I can't even think of the word now. Coat
He thinks
rack,
it's like a
coat hanger.
toy.
The little coat hanger. It held stuff, and he thinks he's supposed to be messing with it. So, the entertainment of the day, Fritz.
So then one of the other things I got was the Mill Hill Autumn Harvest, which is the red cap mushrooms.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
in our family, we have a running joke about mushrooms. So Mom, if you're watching this, this will eventually come to you. Not sure when. When I sent you a picture earlier, you probably guessed, but surprise, this is going to be for you.
Ooh.
I saw this pattern and couldn't pass it up.
Ooh.
There we go. And this
Yeah.
is Gone Batty by Brenda Gervais. And it's on that Kermit fabric, Kermit by Picture This Plus, which I've heard all over Flosstube lately. And I saw it in the store, and it's like this bright neon lime green, which I think is so different, because you wouldn't think to put this cat on the lime green fabric, but I think it'll be really cool.
It is. That's a cute picture. That's something cute there. I had not seen that before.
Yeah. And then this bat is even holding a candy corn, which I thought was really funny.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's like all these little things. You think it's kind of a simple pattern, and then you start really looking at it. This one has also been on my wish list since it was released, I guess. Spirits and Spells by Brenda Gervais.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
I just love the pumpkin with his messed up little face. He looks so grumpy. And I mean, I guess I would be too if a witch was carrying me away, but I love it. So I can't wait to see.
I like that. Yeah. I'll look forward to seeing you work on that.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll take too long either, because a lot of it's just vines and some leaves. So just maybe she'll take some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then these ones, so I'll go here first. So I'm sure everyone knows this pattern. So Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And Sean and I saw this in the store together, and we both decided that we're both going to stitch it. So we're going to randomly take different blocks, and we're going to make them on individual pieces and then into flat folds. And so then we'll be able to put these up every Halloween as like little stand-ups all around the house. Yeah. But it'll be really fun to do it with him and see sort of his progress versus my progress. He claimed the skeletons, which is okay by me, because I know there is a ton of just using the same color thread in the dirt. I claimed the mermaids up here because I love the ocean. And then the rest of it, we haven't really decided. But
you might have to just toss coins.
Exactly. But watch, he'll get the witches and then be like, oh, it's too much. I don't want to.
Well, and then you can
see
do
what
it.
happens.
Yeah.
But yeah. And that was his idea, that we each stitch it together. So I was like, okay, cool. You getting into it.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then I got a lot of things in the grab bags that I bought, but I want to just show a couple of my favorites. And so the first is Not Forgotten Farm, and I don't know the name of the pattern, but it says Clover, Honey, Smoke, Sweet, Beeswax, Hive. And her skirt is the beehive, which I thought was so cute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And my dad used to keep bees, so he used to have like the whole suit and the hives and everything. So maybe I'll stitch this for him because it's a little different.
Yeah.
So I guess I know my dad watches this. So Dad, let me know if you're interested or not.
Mom's getting mushrooms and you're getting a beehive.
Yeah. Sean and I really like this one, which is Not Forgotten Farm, Merry Maker. And it's got the Santa and 2 sheep. And it's kind of primitive looking, but which isn't usually my style, but I seem to really like this one anyway.
I like that.
And then there is Lucy Beam Love and Stitches, which I hadn't heard of this designer before. And it's called Ghostly Guard. So it's got a ghost. He's got some thread in there and a bunch of headstones. So I thought that was pretty cute. Yeah. It says, Ghostly's guard thy needle and thread.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then this is called Cat's Life by Fairy Wool in the Wood, which came out this year.
Oh, cool.
And so this is really cute. It's just sort of all the things that cats do on your normal basis, like sleep during the day and party all night.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Wally did this morning, because at like 3, 4, 5, and 6, he was jumping on my face and trying to get a snack. But he is currently asleep in his pumpkin. So, you know, it's just perfect.
Fritzy? Well, and I've got one that's acting out. Fritz, excuse me. Fritz, get down from there. You show your, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, so then the last one is a Lizzie Kate. It's called Hoot. And it is a limited edition Biscornu, or as Sean and I like to call it, Biscorny, and a fob kit. So it looks like that, which I thought was really cute. And I've never made one of these. And there's the back.
I have not either. I've got a pattern for one, but I haven't made a Biscornu. Several people in the guild have. They can help you if you run into a problem or something.
Yeah, I think it looks intimidating, but I feel like once you go to do it, it just kind of makes sense. So we'll see. But I was excited because it came with the fabric and the charms for it. So halfway there to kitting this up, which is really cool. And then the last thing, so I ordered this like a long time ago. I am doing an EGA correspondence course with, I believe it's the Wildflowers chapter of EGA. Mm-hmm. And it is a soutache and bead embroidery pattern by Amy Runs with Scissors, and it's called Delicate Matters. So I will be making this necklace. And I love the colors, the blues and the golds. I haven't opened it up, so I can't show it to you yet, but our class starts at the very end of August, and I think it'll be nice.
That's beautiful, Chiffon, beautiful.
Yeah, so I've never tried soutache before. Our friend Marilyn, she loves it, and she raves about it, and I've wanted to try, and she gave me some stuff, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah. But this has sort of forced me to, because it's a 4-week class, and we'll see if my necklace looks like this or if it looks completely different. But yes. I heard that Amy Runs with Scissors. I heard that her directions are super, super good, and we'll be able to talk to her during it. So fingers crossed, it does turn out like this. And this is so me with the skull. It's very Halloween.
And a lot of people in our guild have done her, some of her classes as well. And another guild member, you haven't really met Elizabeth that much because she's over in Indiana, but she, Sue Weimer's daughter, Elizabeth Freeman, has even gotten like Marilyn and is designing some of her own jewelry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple other members of our guild that are going to be doing the class. So that'll be nice to also have people that are taking the exact same course at the exact same time. But yeah, that was a lot of haul. I didn't even show you all of it. I just picked up my favorites, my absolute favorites, because, you know, they're all the favorite. Let's switch over to you and give my mouth a break. It's time for vintage.
Okay. Well, Joe was looking through some cookbooks we had, some old ones, and I had found this in the Foot Locker that I brought home from my brother's back in 2006. It's called A Book for a Cook, and it's dated, I think it's from 1905. Now I know we are not always talking about cooking, but what was interesting, and of course now I cannot find it, there was a floss, you know, the little things that go onto your floss, the papers that tell you what color and what company. Well, there was a floss paper on there for Corticelli, I think it was Corticelli Roman Empire floss is what it was. So I looked them up, and they are still, I believe, in business. But actually on Etsy, you can buy like vintage Corticelli Roman floss, which is what that would have been.
So cool.
And it still had the color number on there of 574. And I told Fawn, you just watch. I will find that little bitty tag as soon as I hang up from we stopped doing our show.
Yeah, we'll hang up, and then Fritz will come out with it in his mouth, just trotting across the
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. That's true. I thought I had put it in, I knew I had it in one of my boxes, and I went and looked there this morning and it's not there. And I looked in two others and it's not there. So I'm going to have to just let it go, or I will be wandering through this house all day today trying to find it. But
I guess people just have to keep watching to see when we bring it back.
But it's just for people to know, it's Corticelli Corticelli Roman floss, and there's several articles if you were to look on, just do a search for that. That they even have, I found a picture of one of their, I don't know if you can see it or not, cards. They're color cards, which shows you what the colors would be and the numbers. And the 574 is on the first, well, let's see, it's not on this one. I did find it on another one. But here's what Corticelli, this explains the different flosses. I don't know if you can see that very well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. It says here, Corticelli Roman floss, somewhat coarser than Corticelli Persian floss and intended for embroidering larger designs on heavier material. Curtains, counterpanes, and cushions are worked with this silk. Corticelli shaded Roman floss made in shade 890 only, see page 3. So they actually have different things, but they had quite a number of different silks listed on this page about what they do. So I hope, and here's one with a kitty cat on the ad. I'm sorry it's not showing up very well. Let me see. Well, it might help it there. There you go. Here it is.
Oh, look at that cat. So proper.
Yeah. And that's wash embroidery silk. So you could wash some of their silks. But anyway, I'm ticked that I can't find that thing, but I'll survive. But anyway, so we have this 1905 cookbook that someone had, somehow somebody in my family got it, and it was from Chicago, Illinois. It's the exclusive property of, and the lady's name is Mrs. Frank Bublitz, Bublitz, and it even gave her address in Chicago, Illinois.
Wow.
And so that made me, that Joe was digging out all our old cookbooks. So instead of vintage jewelry or whatever, which it's just too hot for my pearls. So I have on a necklace Joe gave me that I guess we could consider vintage because I've had it over 20 years. My little, it's a lovebird with a note in its mouth, sending a love letter, I guess. And it can also be worn as a pin, but I've always worn it as a necklace. But we have the Boston Cooking School cookbook that is dated, let's see what the copyright date is on this one, 1938, published by Little Brown and Company. And here's some ladies that are, dietitians and going to tell you how to do different things. And some of these are so much fun to look through because they actually will give you all sorts of advice on how to manage a home. This is the one, the American Woman's Cookbook. This was my grandmother's, and my mother used this cookbook. I mean, I've got recipes in here from way back when, and ones that Mama used all the time. One of the things I love about it, so is look at all the desserts. That's the
It looks
paper
so
they
good.
used in it to have it. And this one is dated. This is a 1942. So this was my grandmother's, and they first started it in 1938. And then my mother used this as well. And the back picture is the same thing, but they actually have color photos in here as well as black and white.
Oh,
And the one of the things I love is I've got the recipe that my grandmother Ruby, that's my daddy's mama, used. She sent this to me in 1964 when we had moved to St. Louis, and it was how to make Thanksgiving dressing, you know.
Oh.
So it goes, Monday morning, Marianne, my beauty, I am going to tell you how I make dressing. First, you bake a skillet full of cornbread. This will break your heart, but after it cools down, crumble it up in a large bowl. So yes, that does break my heart because cornbread
I was going to ask.
Yeah, you don't have to use toast, but it helps. You break the toast up in the bowl with the cornbread. Simmer the onions and celery until they are soft and wilted, and use some of the green tops of the celery. Pour that into the bread. Don't use too much water, just enough to cover. Break the eggs into the mixture and mix real well. Then add the can of chicken broth. This cost about 12 cents.
I wish.
And the label just reads chicken broth. And then she goes on to tell me now how to do all this.
It sounds so good.
This is dressing and stuffing are two different things. And in the South, a lot of people will make a whole big pan of dressing, and that does not go into the turkey. You bake that separately. I don't usually stuff a turkey. But anyway, my mother tried that one time and nobody liked it. So we always ate the dressing, but Ruby would make the dressing for us. And I treasure this letter. You know, and it's even she used to work at First National Bank down there in Memphis. And so she could use one of their envelopes. It cost 5 cents to mail this letter to me in St. Louis. We lived in Glendale, Missouri at the time, which is a suburb. But you can see I keep lots of recipes just stuck in here, and ones that my sister has sent me and ones that Joe and I have found or that we've done. I also have my grandmother Ruby's coffee cake recipe, which is a really good one. So this is a helpful book, and that I actually, out of all the ones I use, I still think this one's useful. And it even tells you how to manage in wartime, how to manage, have formal parties and stuff. But Joe's favorite one, and I know this, y'all will appreciate this. Our friend Connie had this book, and Connie had over, probably 1,000 or more cookbooks at one time. She would get ones from little, churches and women's groups and stuff. And this is the Silent Hostess treasure book. Okay. And this is 1932 copyright by General Electric Company. So it's arranged, it's about the refrigerator. That's it's the Silent Hostess. Joe was hoping it would be me, that it would be.
Oh, Joe.
But the whole idea is you actually, this is where you would put the ice trays and stuff, because before that, people used ice boxes, and the ice man would come to the house, and you had ice then that would sit in there, and that's how but this is the Silent Hostess, an electric. Here's a picture in the back of a meal that you could plan. So it's even got colored photographs in it. And it's one of those things that tells you about entertaining and such, which they all did, cutting down on food bills. So that's another fun one that we enjoy having. And every now and then, you know, are you going to be the silent hostess? Not today.
You're never in luck, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
you bet.
I also really like cookbooks, and so sometimes when we're thrifting or my mom will find them, and I have a couple old cookbooks, and they're so fun to look back on and see
Yeah.
how the ingredients have changed, because sometimes it's like add all this lard or
Yeah.
Crisco and things, and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine putting that much lard in anything. Like, are you kidding me? And then you
Wow.
think about that recipe and you're like, oh, I bet it tastes so good.
It does. I use lard in my pie recipes when I'm doing like a heavier pie, like a meat pie or something like that. I'll use lard in the crust. I use butter and lard sometimes in my other crust. And then I also do just a butter crust on occasion. So for my pecan pie, I do just a butter crust. So you're just supposed to ignore the calories, you know, because
Yeah, and I feel like
good.
that's exactly why we need to make them, because they will taste so good. Because it
Oh, yeah.
seems so many recipes now, they're like, how do we cut the carbs out? How do we cut the fats out? How do we make this less food and more just whatever will fit your macros? And
Yeah.
then you look at those old recipes where nobody cared and the food just tastes good and looks good. And so I really do want to try more old recipes instead of the reduced calorie type recipes.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
My great grandfather liked my great grandmother's chocolate cake. And my daddy said he had died and gone to heaven when he married into that family, because grandma would make, I think it was like a 2 or 3 layer cake. And then she would make a fudge icing that went on the outside of it. But that's when you used a pound of butter, a pound of flour, a pound of this. And then granddaddy, my understanding is he would then spread butter on his slice of the cake too.
Oh my gosh.
And then she probably would give him whipped cream. So he ate well. And my father
And I'm
just
sure
thought
she
it was
made
great.
that whipped cream too.
Well, probably. And then the fudge icing was one that would harden, but it would be really thick. And Daddy said, well, my mother told us this, but like I say, Daddy was glad he married into the family, but it was the kind of cake you could leave it sitting on the sideboard or the buffet for a few days because nothing was going to do anything to it. You know, you just put the cake lid over it and it was going to be alive. It would survive that. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Daddy was happy he was married to Mama, who had a grandmother that could cook like that.
Wow. Well, since we spent so much time on cookbooks and recipes this
Right.
week, comment down below. Let us know maybe your favorite recipe or a recipe that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe they put this in there, but I have to try it anyway. So let us know, because I'm sure we'd both love to hear it.
Yes.
The last thing we have is our giveaway. So I will have 2 winners next week, and I am giving away, or I should say we are giving away, these Lizzie Kate summer basket charts. And so they're small, really easy stitches, but I know people love Lizzie Kate. And so it looks like this. It doesn't have any charm or fabric or floss. It's just the chart. But I'm sure if you really wanted to be, you could either stitch one up using some French knots, or you could find a button charm somewhere. But if you would like to win this pattern, and again, we'll have 2 winners, use the word summer in a sentence down below. And so, but right before our next video, so probably Sunday at maybe 10:30 or so next week, I will pick a winner. So you have all week from when this video goes up to enter. And yeah, so use the word summer. Please be 18 or older. Please be subscribed to our channel. I won't check, but I would love the honor system for you to be a subscriber. So if you're not subscribing already and you're interested in this, just hit that button real quick. And I don't think there's any other restrictions, just 18 and please subscribe.
Yeah.
But I guess you have to be 18 to be able to give someone your address or ask for somebody's
Yeah,
address.
probably so. Probably so.
So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're under 18, if we have some young viewers, that'd be really cool to see the cross stitch is making its way younger. Just have your mom enter, I guess. Let us know.
Yeah, your mom or your dad, whoever.
Exactly. Because like I said, these seem really cute, and I've totally gone off on a tangent, but we have 2, and we would love to send these to you.
Yeah.
So on that note, we will see you next week, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and week whenever this video goes up.
Right.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.